Hey everyone, it's Dying Demon. I know it's been a while since I've recorded a video. It's been mostly Genshin shorts. I know that's a very polarizing thing. Watch it, love it, hate it. It's up to you. Um, but I decided for now, I would take a break from it, and I decided to do a little bit of Aven Colony, and I noticed that there was an achievement in there called Speedrunner, and only just over 1% of all players have it. And of course, me being me, made the decision to go for that. Now, in this video, you'll see me choose my perk and everything. I will fail at one point and then load in a save. I don't care. It still works. But the goal is to take the very first non-hollow mission called Vanar, and you have to beat the entire mission before the end of Soul 5 or Year 5, before that winter ends. It requires a lot of speed running, or not really speed running. I failed 3 times. In that time, the first time I made a list of every quest. The end of the second time, I decided that I needed to upgrade all of my at least my first drone hub. At the end of the third round of me failing, I realized, it still gives me building a mine if I build laser mines, and while I do waste, it doesn't matter. The mines won't run out before the end of the mission anyway. I did make a few mistakes. I will point them out as the video goes on. I will be mostly silent for this. It'll be just hey, come on and watch and have fun. I'm not sure how long the video is. Hold on, I can actually find out. It is 43 minutes, so I might jump around a little bit and skip some stuff just to make it a little bit. No, I won't. I'll let it play through, because what's the point of showing off a speedrun set if you're gonna skip, right? You might see me stop, like my mouse stop for a moment, or something pop up on screen. That's me going over to my second monitor to look at my list that I made. I do know there were guides online. I decided not to use the guides because mostly of what the guides say to do are very similar to what I came up with a few discrepancies. Theirs were probably faster, more efficient, and didn't run the risk of purging your entire colony because you're incompetent. And let's be honest, have you seen me play video games? It's never quite so good. But yeah, I'll hit play for now. And whenever we're done with that, I'll let you know. This is post-commentary. I've already played the game. I didn't record my commentary over it because there's just too much background noise going on right now, and I didn't want to pick all that up in the recording. But I'll pop in anytime I want to do some commentary, and I'll let you, and I'll post it over, okay? I will say, in the beginning, the game it seems easy, especially when you're playing on normal mode, which, by the way, this was played on normal mode, which you should see after I choose Doctor. What did I choose? I think I choose Drone Tech. Yeah, I did. Here it is. I'm watching myself play it. I did Drone Tech. Now, you can hit escape and get right into it. I kind of just closed out everything. I forgot I can just ignore that. You drop a water pump. Now, playing the game normally, you need to make sure to keep your tunnels and stuff good. I'm actually kind of glad for the most part I did do that, because tunnels became a big problem whenever it came to the happiness of my people. Many people get upset at you if their tunnels aren't done right, if they had to travel too long to work, if the food isn't good enough, if there's too much crime. You have to do all of that while making sure. And when you're rushing, especially like I was doing, you tend to overlook some things. Now, I actually had a little bit of spare time. I probably could have slowed down just slightly to focus more and make things not as crazy. And if I had placed everything just a little bit faster and a little bit more properly, I probably wouldn't have had to rush so much in the first place. But as you can see here, like, I just got done placing a windmill. I'm now placing a laser mine. If you look on the side, it's just giving me the checks for them because I'm not doing the actual quest. I'm just rushing it. I probably should have spent a little bit more nanites in the get-go and just did the And here I was going to be quiet through most of this. I probably should have gone through and done the greenhouses instead of farms. Greenhouses work in the wintertime, and one of the biggest issues I was having was that I wasn't having great production. Now, thank goodness I learned on round my second try of this is that you don't have to keep some of your crops going after you've completed a certain quest. You can just change them over to melons. And for the sake of this mission, you're not really punished. As you can see here, I was given a reward and I chose nanites. I always choose nanites because I'm always out of nanites, and you need a lot of them, a couple thousand of them, to get through this mission quick enough. Something I did see, and this was, while apparently it is a common thing to do, recommended to a friend of mine who knew I was doing this. The only offer and hint he gave me was whenever you go to do this achievement, he goes, do 2 of the immigration centers. If you don't, 9 times out of 10 you'll fail one of the missions you need, which is get to a population of 200. You'll notice later on the bottom right hand corner there's going to be missions that pop up with stars. Those are specific to your campaign missions, and to beat this in so much time you have to complete all those. You can see that I've already built, like I said, I'm not even waiting on any of the missions. The checks are just going. I'm going down the list as fast as I can, and as I'm getting rewards for completing those missions as well as this, you'll see my nanite counter, second gray box on the very bottom from the right next to the lightning bolt, the one that says 40, then 28. That's my nanites. You get rewarded for doing these things, and because I'm doing them so quick, they're just popping into my inventory. The problem, though, is I wasn't paying attention to some of my stuff, and I ran into some issues with Colonist. For the simple fact of I wasn't keeping my air clean enough, and crime started to run rampant. And then there was, you'll see. Something you're going to notice here. You see the 2 red blinking hard hat men? Yeah, that's going to get worse. I prioritized immigration center, drone hubs, and research centers to receive their people first. And then once I got the people I needed and the things out the way, I toned it back down. By doing immigration centers and the like, you get more and more and more immigrants. Like, I think the max is 9 per station at a time. And if you do research center, it like doubles, or was it triple? I can't remember the exact percentage, the speed at which you're researching. But the downside is that when you don't have workers coming in, they can't power any of your buildings, and thus you just have buildings with nobody in them. I wanted to get certain buildings up and running first, and then I went from there. I honestly don't know if it matters what order I did anything in. I never tried to do it. I did do a little bit out of order, and it still gave me a reward. But this first mission, this first Vanard mission, I think it's best to do it in order, because it's basically built to, hey, when this happens, you want this. And you see, Immigration Center had no one in it, so I'm upping so that I'm getting 1 person. That 1 person will get me 3 immigrants, then 5 immigrants, then 7 immigrants, then 9 immigrants whenever it maxes out. Once it's maxed out, everyone starts going elsewhere. If you look on the bottom, just passively, I've already got over 100 nanites, but let's be honest, 100 nanites is nothing. You will blow through them, and you will blow through them rather quickly. Fun note for y'all when I get on this part. Storage depots, if you didn't know, do not have to be attached to your main walkways. As long as it's touching some building, it's fine. The same thing for windmills, lightning rods, power packs, solar packs, these are all non-manned buildings, so nobody has to be in there, so you don't have to worry about walkways or travel time. I would recommend looking and making sure what is unmanned and what isn't, and if you can slap that somewhere out of the way and it just touches the edge of one of your buildings, take it. Leave it. Call it great. You know what I mean? Don't waste your time and your precious space throwing it in the middle of a walkway and have to work. Yeah, you can see me right there. Pull up the start menu. I'll cut that part out. Or if you're just hearing this part, I cut out the me opening my start menu and scrolling over to my notepad, my Notepad++ window I have up. Sorry about that. Should be the only skip, but you might have more. We'll see. Because whenever I do that, it goes away from the game and pulls up the notepad. I was using shadow play, but I don't know what happened with how I handled it. It could be my graphic settings, it could be my window mode, but whenever it was recording and I switched from Aven Colony to notepad or to a browser window, whenever I was trying to shut off something, a ad started playing on a website I was looking at for another mission coming up where I'm getting my butt kicked. You'll see me tab out of it. It didn't capture the audio from the browser, thank God. It only seemed to capture Aven Colony, and who says having virtual pass-through cables is a bad thing? Now here you'll see me where I'm starting to grow the Xenosage and the things I need for research. It took me a bit to realize that I didn't like it. I knew it from my first three failures, but I didn't disconnect them once I had enough to grow it, because the colonists can't use them. They can't eat them. And once they're used to make the drugs you need, they can't use the drugs either, so long as I haven't skipped too far ahead. So once you get them grown and exported, you just have to go. And I didn't. But yeah, I'm making significant speed here. This had been a non-rushed mission. Like, this would have taken me probably the better part of 40 minutes just to get this far, because I usually only play on 1, maybe 2 times speed. I'm sure there's people in here who drive that nuts, because I can't play RimWorld that way. RimWorld is always maxed out on speed. But this one, I kind of just like to let it go. I can spend 6 hours on a single mission that most people probably only spend like an hour, just because I don't go any faster. I'm sure that just hearing that just grates someone, and I love it. Now, I did make a mistake and started growing my spices and shit, not in greenhouses. Here, I'm looking for another, there it is. Why the hell did I just say there it is? I already found it. This is a past recording. Anywho, I was looking for geothermal. I need to build a second geothermal vent, and I just could not for the life of me find one. And I remember that it was somewhere near one of my drone hubs, because I intentionally placed my drone hub in such a way that I won't have to build a third drone hub to get to it. At this point, we're in winter time, food is dropping fast, water is dropping, and nanites are not producing. If you look on the right, you see my lack of workers. I'm building so fast that the buildings have sucked down to like 1 person, maybe 2 a building. I should be micromanaging a little bit and having more workers in my food production and my nanite production. Maybe more my nanite production. But I decided not to do that. Like right here, this farm has no one. And right now, that doesn't matter. I'm in the wintertime. And wintertime, if it's not a greenhouse, the crops don't grow. With every ship that lands, you'll see more and more little hard hat men disappear. I also took a while to notice I had a reward waiting on me. And with this, we got the chemical plant, which is what you need to make the, the glow. Cerulean glow. But it's a, I decided, like, this is where you'll see me up the research center. For every person that joins, its percentage goes up with how fast it's efficient. So the more people, the better it is. That, and I could have upgraded it to number 2, but that would have been a waste of resources. You will see me make a gigantic mistake with it in the future. Not a joke. I will do something stupid with it and have to fix it, and it could have ruined the entire run. What you'll see me doing here is called intake. It's an intake fan placement. Your geothermal plants, your housing developments, your mines, your factories, they all produce bad air, and you need to put vents that you're supposed to. In most games, I do vents. For this one, because I know there's no toxic events, I'm just doing intake fans. I like doing filters usually, because then if a geothermal erupts, I'm not getting any entire air quality destroyed by toxic gas. Though you can put a windmill next to a intake fan, and during toxic events you can just turn on your windmill and it'll blow the toxic gas away from you. It'll run your windmill in reverse. So you see how on the bottom right it now has a starred mission. That is, yeah. Looking at that, exporting 100 melons was not required. Why did I do that? I don't know why. I think in my head I thought that was a required mission. But now that I think about it, exporting cerulean glow was the mission. Why did I just waste 100 melons? And I could have saved myself so much heartache later on. At this point, I'm running into water issues. I wanted to see if getting more colonists in would fix my water issue, and it did. It got it up in the positives. And that's because now I have multiple people running the thing. And then I got warned by the chancellor. That's why I said, "You have been warned" achievement. I think it was my 100th time being warned by her because the food dropped so low that she yelled. Now, this will happen again, and you'll see me call down a supply pod. I don't care if people think that's cheating. I don't give a shit. I needed it. It got me through it, and it got me the achievement. So I don't care. Anywho, second geothermal goes down. I'm supposed to put a vent there. I don't remember if I did, because I remember that having some really bad air quality later on. Now it's time to put down a bar and grill. You get the point. Now, I need to warn for anybody else who wants to try this, be prepared. You're going to want to slow down just slightly, because around this point, you have to put down a bar and grill, a hospital, a retail center, and one other thing to get it to work. Either like a drone hub, like a police hub, stuff like that. I rushed through it and already had 2 of them down, so it took longer for me to get through that quest. Sometimes you need to stop and wait till the quest pops. Get everything set up, get your nanites ready, get things good to go. But yeah, don't rush too fast. Edit that down. But if you haven't noticed, my food is still not going up. Like, it's going up slowly and then it gets chunked down. I'm in the negatives still. And that's because I'm still growing everything I need for cerulean grow. I think you need, I don't know if it was 100 of each material or 200 of each. I can't remember. But when you do it, but you see right here, I got done with research center. I hit it back to normal, and suddenly everybody went everywhere else, and all my food and water production went up as the workers redistributed. At this point, though, I need to wait till I get a skyscraper built, because I need a skyscraper to... You get the point. The skyscraper will let me get more colonists, and it's part of a mission that I need. I didn't want to waste any time on another habitat if I didn't have to. I think I ended up upgrading the other one, didn't I? Yeah, I upgrade that to max to hold more until I get enough nanites for skyscraper. Because right now I can't accept colonists, and if I don't have a place for them before a certain time, the colonists go back into orbit, so I've got to be prepared to accept them. And you need to get 200 population as part of the quest line. So you need to make sure you have the buildings in place. A max upgraded outpost, that other tiny little building, the one that I just upgraded, and then a skyscraper, max upgraded is 200 people, or just abouts. And that is all you need. And right there, because of the food in wintertime, I got to resupply. Give that a call. As soon as it lands, it drops all that food in my inventory. All the food and nanites, which is perfectly fine. Ups me to 600 food, then I recycle it. And that gives me even more nanites to keep going with. And I said, this is where I'm starting to lose the script. If I'm not mistaken, shortly after this, either this winter or next winter, I lose and I have to load a save. Skyscrapers down. I cut off part of the farmland there. Sometimes it replaces it, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know which one this one did. I didn't care. It was a non-food crop. Now, at this point, I've already made 200 cerulean, and I should be in place to just go ahead and change the farms, but I don't. I just kind of sit there with my thumb up my butt and stare. Speed it up. Did I lose here? I can't remember. Getting prepared for the Zorium generator. Yeah, I don't think I lose here. I think I make it just over the winter line and still don't fix my food situation. Remember, even while you're rushing through to get to the end, sometimes you need to change things up. Be mindful of how you're handling your food and drug supplies. If you have enhancers, that'll help you out with happiness, so be it. But if the cost of those enhancers is your population starving, don't grow the enhancers. I actually would recommend building up a stockpile of them right before a referendum so you can keep their happiness above 90. And then you're focused on growing food, and then you're guaranteed to win. I think I won a very close referendum. Yeah, there's the referendum start, which means, yeah, it's next year that I don't fix my food situation. Everything goes south. And I hate her pop-ups because they always go up when you're trying to build something, and it screws you over. Laser mine up. Now, I do recommend, once you get to everything but the Earth History Center built, if you can, remove anything not 100% necessary, restructure all your supplies. Like, if you can, upgrade your laser mines to max. Like, you should have 2 of them, maybe 3. I'm not sure. And then you need to focus on upgrading your nanite production. And when you can hit like 7 to 10 nanites, it goes quick to get to 420. And yes, I do understand it, and no, I'm not going to blaze it. You did see me put a police center down, but I only did one, and so I'm an idiot. And instead of doing one or a fully upgraded one, crime ran rampant. You see right here, I've already built some of the stuff I should have built later. I did it out of order, which resulted in me having to rebuild them. Well, not rebuild them, but build other stuff. Means I was stuck on that quest and not getting its nanites longer. Finally realized I didn't upgrade my drone hub and fixed it. I'm at one food production an hour. Are you serious? Looking at this as not the one playing, I see all these mistakes. Like, I played it, but now that I'm sitting down and just commentating, it's like I see every mistake I made and I'm just so pissed off. But you can see me getting impatient at some point and I'm just putting the hammer down. Now, something to note here, to win a referendum, you need 50% morale. If you have less than 50%, actually you need 51%. Any less than that, you lose. And food is a huge thing about it. My food is dangerously low, and when it hits 0, you will watch your morale drop so fast, there is no recovery. At this point, you see me switching all my stuff over to melons because I'm done doing the shipping of the drugs. And yes, my food variety is horrible, but my people are fed. That's all that matters. You want to keep them high. Not... Well, you kind of want to keep them that high too, but in this case, just keep your morale high. At this point, I think I'm trying to get the hospital built. And I got impatient again and upped the speed. I think it's 32 or 36. I can't remember when a hospital is. 36, okay. Now, the hospital does abso-friggin-lutely nothing for you if you don't have nanomedicine, but I did not make nanomedicine. I was like, yeah, I'm not wasting resources on that. It takes water and turns it into medicine using nanomachines. It doesn't use up your nanomachines, but it turns water into medicine. Put down another laser mine. This one is so I can get my nanite production up even higher. You want to get as much nanites as you can, like I said. The sooner you start getting to work on it, the better. But take a look at my food. It's at 677. It is just going to drop from here, I promise you. You will see how fast you can go from about a 76% morale to dead. Right now, as they're talking about the scrubber, you don't have the scrubber till this point. There's no way you can build it. You have to wait. But it's so that these incoming spores that are about to land, yeah. And that's when I notice I still have crimes. Like, you know what, I'll just upgrade my police drones and call it good. Hoping that the upgraded drones will just patrol a little bit further. The upgraded drones are far more efficient. You can get up to 3 of them. And they each will patrol a different area. So basically, they're not as overwhelmed in a winding, packed area. But they only go so far, and they make routes. And those routes take a certain amount of time to complete. If it takes too long, it's not going to go there. It's just going to map itself back up and around. So your best bet is to have multiple police hubs patrolling at all times. At this point, I still haven't paid attention to my food generation. You see where the spore just landed, it's attacking my vent. And so, yeah. The scrubber drone will take care of it. Which it did, which turned back on that. And then I noticed air quality all the way over there. I was like, what the heck? I never built my intake fan. At this point, they're just talking about flowers, and then Jack Torrin, being who he is, sends a picture of his butt to Uros, and then accidentally sends it to the entire ship, which you don't get to see. Zorium reactors are really, really good energy producers. But let's be honest, they take a lot of nanites, and they also require you to mine Zorium. The other ones require, just water, wind, or the sky, and nanites. Mining the extra resource just means, yeah. And at this point, I realize I only have one nanite processor, and I'm like, yeah, let's fix that. And I hadn't been paying attention to my food on the bottom. At this point, the referendum is going to end at the end of this winter. And if I don't win, I don't get this one, it's instant game over. But take a look at my food. It's flashing red. And I'm losing 9, 10. As the winter goes on, it just gets worse. Now, the game autosaves, thank God. But it autosaves to my Steam Cloud because I play this on the Steam Deck. And I like to have the backup there so I can just pull it up on my deck as I go, save it, come back to it later kind of thing. When I'm on the road, before I'll load it up on the road or at work and just keep going. But at this point is when I start realizing, uh-oh, something's wrong. I'm at 400 and about to be 300. But I think, you know what? Winter's halfway over. I'm at 69% happiness. Crime's still a little high and air quality's a little bit crap, but I think I can fix that. Keep everything good, and I just stopped paying attention to the food. I didn't think there's any way I could run out of food. Notice the crime over there, pretty high. I'm at 33 hours of 56. Basic math will tell you when you're losing 20 an hour, that 300 doesn't last very long. And then I realized, oh crap, I don't have any food contracts, like good food contracts for easy selling. At this point, I'm now making the decision, let's grow some melons. I only put down one though, and that's it. Whenever it's done, it changes it down to 8.2. And now that winter's ending, it's getting a little bit better. But I'm still losing faster than I'm growing. And if you look at my happiness meter, it is dropping fast. And now I hit 0, and that happiness meter sank. Like a rock, and I get frustrated. And then I was like, wait a minute. Load game. And they're like, no, they're all the wrong one. There's like, oh wait, no, I saved to the cloud. And then I was like, oh, Steam Cloud, autosave, just a few minutes ago, load. Loaded that sucker up, and immediately went to go place down food. I was back down to 400, and at this time I was like, we're not playing games, we're placing down 2 of them. We got that built, and then I immediately went off to start preparing to also prevent another major catastrophe. I know there's no way in the middle of winter I'm growing enough food to stop the decline, but I should be able to hold off a defeat, I hope, and full loss of food. I don't have enough nanites for crime, so yay. However, I do get that first one down faster than it was before, which... Did I really have that making barley? Oh my god, no wonder it didn't help. I should be making melons. Ha 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 ha. Oh, in hindsight. Oops. I could have headed this off a lot sooner. I'm an idiot. Well then, the fact that I didn't die a second time is absolutely amazing. But I'm down to 109 and the winter's ending. You can see the numbers flashing back and forth. The amount that I'm missing is dropping, and it's dropping because, of course, winter's ending, so the crop yield is going up. 90, 70, 50, 40. And it hits zero. Look at that, 53% average happiness. It's dropping. 11, cutting down to the wire. 14, 19, 22, 0. 2 colonists starving. I was like, well, I lost again, but I won right before the meter ticked over. And at this point, I'm now making positive food, so the starving goes away. And I just start focusing on everything else. I was like, I have no time left for anything. At this point, it's all about getting that, it's all about getting my Earth History Center ready. Now, that takes 420 nanites, 72 power, and 21 workers. But being who I am, I was like, okay, let's start getting rid of crap I don't need. I couldn't figure out what that was about. If you look on the top left, it looks like that little ice storm destroyed one of my passageways to my second generator. I didn't know you could have multiple power sets like that. I learned just then. That's what I noticed it up on the top left. I'm like, wait. And yet I did nothing about it. I don't know why. I think I fix it later, but food will get better. I still couldn't figure out where all this excess pollution was coming from, so was fixing that. At this point, I know I should be saving up nanites, but I'm more concerned about getting everyone happier, because if they get too upset for too long, they start rioting. If they start rioting, my buildings shut down, and if any of the buildings that shut down are nanites, I'm boned. I'm not winning. And then I forgot how to recycle. I know there's shortcut keys for it, but my brain shut off, so I had to go back to manual removal. This is the point where I'm trying to salvage as many nanites as possible. And I couldn't figure out why I was at 464 out of 502 power. I should have had a hell of a lot more power. And I think that's when it starts clicking in that, oops. Or not. I could just be slow. There's that too. There it is. It all clicks in now. There you go. That's a little bit more extra power. My food's going up significantly faster now. I'll have more than enough to make it through the winter after this. And this is where I make a mistake. I was like, I don't need the research center anymore. Why keep it? Now, I really didn't need the chemical plant, so that's okay to get rid of it. Because after all, that was that center was worth a hell of a lot of nanites. Like, I jumped from like 140 or 150 to something else. To 177. Okay, not worth as much as I thought. I wasn't about getting rid of the thorium generator, but I was like, nah, I need enough power. At that point, like I said, I just started working on nanite production. Like, the more I can get, the better. I have, until I said, you have to get it put down and fully built before the end of Sol 4. And I'm in Sol 4 now, so I'm on the very edge of failure. However, things worked out. Air quality and crime, so that's when I decided to put down the crime thing, the police department. Then I needed to put down a new vent. Like, I was confused as hell what was going on with the venting. And I didn't see what was going on next to the skyscraper. Yeah, I thought that was the problem there. We're up to 241 out of 420. And that's when I got rid of the Zorium, because I had plenty of Zorium. 263. Basically, I was making sure my workers were where I needed them. I thought about deleting that, but I was like, nah, my power won't hold out. And then it tells me, hey, yeah, you got problems here, fix it. And I'm like, oh, that's where things were going wrong. And by fixing that, my morale actually starts creeping up. There's some people pissed off about commute times because I built some shit just right in the middle of the nowhere, in between buildings and not connected to the tunnels. And they're like, so I have to go through the tunnel, enter a building, to go out the exit to the building, to get into my building. Talk about a roundabout way to get shit done. But that's what I did to them. At this point, I'm at 450 or 350. And I thought about deleting the generator, the Zorium generator for the extras. Like, you know what? I'm so close. Why bother? Heck yeah, 420. Let's do it. Oh, you need a research center. Duh. In my head, I was like, oh my god, did I just fail this over a research center? Thank God I had 2 fully upgraded drones, and the perk that I picked was a drone master, so everything builds faster with the drones. And they upgrade building and recycling is all like 10% faster. That helped out a lot. And then I went back to it and I needed to only get 20 more. But at this point, if you look at it, like I said, I have plenty of time. I just have to get it down and built before the end of this year. And I did cut that really close. The Earth history things take ages to get built. Ooh, I forgot about that. I ran out of colony space at this point. I think I got rid of my hubs. Shard storms. Like, I think I got rid of immigration at this point, because what's the point of bringing more people in if I don't have the room for them? And built. Now I have to wait 1 in-game year, which I literally just put that sucker on fast forward and called it good. I think I upgraded a few things, but at this point, it's a victory. As long as my colony doesn't catch fire or everyone just run the heck away, I win. It literally is just a waiting game here. You'll literally just see me click a few buildings and upgrade them just to blow through the nanites, because I have so many of them, because I focus so heavy on its production. But Yeah, as you can tell, at this point, when you get a colony to this point, your food's producing faster than you're eating through it. Your water's producing faster than you're drinking through it. Your buildings can handle everything else on their own, and you're just making nanites. At this point, you just upgrade everything because you've now made a self-sufficient colony. At this point, you literally can just walk away and it'll run itself. The only thing that I'm doing wrong is that my people are upset over quality, or what variety of their food. Their food is all the same. It's all melons and barley. That's all they're getting. And they're a bit upset over that. You know, understandably so. And I said, here, I'm just blowing through it. Like, you know what? I got nothing better to do. And at this point, like, just in case buildings are getting damaged, I'm going to turn on drone auto repair. And what that does is, in your times when the it's raining ice like that and other stuff happens to buildings, drones auto repair them when they're not doing anything else. Uses a lot of electricity, but you know what? Who cares? If you're at this point, who cares? And look at that, we won. Now, the downside is you don't win until Veronica stops talking. I'm not joking. You don't get the achievement or anything pops until then. Now, I don't know if they fixed it, but I did see someone warn about making sure you finish with that to slow the game down so that until she finishes talking, you don't miss the achievement. Because there you go. I got it. And there it is. Speedrunner achievement. It is done. I was ecstatic. I was happy. 4 times I tried it, and 4 times at the 4th time I got it. But yeah, I'd like to thank everyone who came out and watched. Thank you. I don't normally do like an achievement run like this for our guide for it. I did this time. I had fun doing it, and let me know if you want to see more. Until next time, this has been Dying Demon. Bye.